If lakes were mountains, this would be Everest, and you might call this the peak. Perched at the very top of the Great Lakes is Nipissing Bay, the summit of Superior. The bay alone is 50 kilometers long with depths approaching 500 feet at its east end. So the fact that this is merely a bay says everything about the lake it belongs to. Nipissing Bay is where our trip begins as we launch our 17-foot vessel in the small town of Red Rock. From here we plan to travel down the notorious Nipissing Strait, out to the open lake and west along the wild Black Bay Peninsula. There are countless ways to navigate the hundreds of islands, coves, beaches and bays ahead of us, but as the authors of our guidebook put it, any way chosen will be beautiful. So cute.
They're so cute.
Nice.
They're so small.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Less than 5 minutes, we saw a bear and cubs and this huge bull moose.
Awesome.
It's incredible. Oh, so noisy.
Pretty interesting spot. Flat and clear.
Yeah.
Not a lot of that. And a gorgeous view. Look at that.
Yeah. I mean,
There's been nothing so far.
I'm not against it. We've got a perfect spot for the tent, and the fact that we haven't been swarmed by bugs.
Yeah.
It's
First place we got out, we were swarmed by mosquitoes and some geese we didn't see. So
we disrupted
This
a
is-
family.
this is really nice. Amazing view.
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything. We weren't even going to stop yet. We were going to go a little further, but we got to be up early for a Superior schedule, so it's good to stop early too.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, sold.
Home.
We got a new shelter for the night too. Got our tent set up and threw everything in here and kind of collapsed because it's way too hot in here. We were debating between the shade over there and the spot which was more open, and we went with open, which was a mistake. But still a really sweet spot with an amazing view. We'll have sunrise coming up right over there, and in a couple hours we'll have shade, so nothing to do but chill out. Amazing start to our trip though.
Couldn't have asked for a better first day.
Yeah. Eagles, bear, moose, geese.
Cubs, ducklings.
Yeah. To the mission.
To the mission. We're just getting some dinner going. There's a fire ban, so we have to cook on the Trangia. We're doing pierogies with jalapeno.
Yeah, we're extremely excited for this trip, and I went into today expecting this to be the least interesting day, least interesting scenery perhaps. So if that's any indication for the rest of the trip, we're in for a really good one. How are we looking here?
I'd say pretty close to ready.
Okay.
We could eat them anytime.
And we're closing out this day with a couple of pelicans. Unreal. Look at the beaks on those babies.
Well, today's first day far exceeded any expectations we could have had. It was pretty phenomenal, and we're kind of wrapping up on our nice lookout and gonna get an early morning tomorrow. We didn't get as far as we were hoping today, but we're not too worried about it.
It's first day, travel day, so any distance covered is bonus today. 15 clicks, that's fine. We're hoping to cover more distance when we have the wind at our backs. We have this amazing guidebook by Daryl and Zach, and I'll just give you a look on their map where we're heading. So we're at the very top of the Great Lakes here in the north shore of Superior. We left from Red Rock, carried down, and we were planning to put a dent in the Nipigon Strait today, but yeah, we found this spot about there, and it was too good to pass up. So it's supposed to be calm tomorrow. We should have no problem getting through here. Set up camp somewhere in there, and then we're heading down into this area, possibly around this island and back. But these are long distances. It looks like nothing on a map, but it's the biggest lake in the world by surface area. Oh my goodness. I knew I heard something.
It's got calf.
There's a moose and calf. They were just coming down the shoreline. I knew I heard something crash through the bush. That's so amazing. It's so shallow out there. They've gone way out there. Poor little calf has to follow along, but yeah, I thought I heard a stick break over there and then heard what sounded like a mosquito cloud, but it didn't make sense because there are many around, but not like that cloud sound, like a racetrack sound. And
Yeah.
maybe they came with those moose. They were right down at the bottom of the bank until they shot out.
That was incredible.
Wow.
Wow.
That's just unbelievable. Up before sunrise to beat the wind. That's the way to do it on Superior. Start early and stop early. And it is shaping up to be a beautiful day. Sunrise is getting nicer and nicer. And it's chilly. Only 4 degrees above freezing, but that's knocked down the mosquitoes for a while, so it's welcome.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's the ducklings thrown up.
Good morning.
Morning! It's a beautiful day. Paddling away from camp into the sunrise this morning. I'm trying to get out on the water and ditch some of these mosquitoes. It's been a beautiful start, and the lake's nice and glassy for us this morning. Come here.
How lovely.
Howdy.
It's not a cowboy hat.
Oh,
It's a big old hat.
big old hat.
through Nipigon Bay into the edge of the Nipigon Strait, which will take us out to the main lake of Superior. And it looks like there's maybe a bit of a forest fire haze or wildfires burning all over Canada right now. Some areas have really bad smoke. We've been lucky so far, but it looks like a bit of haze. That's why there's a fire ban as well. Nice lake tailwind today, beautiful conditions, and we're really looking forward to getting out there. Three otters ahead of us.
Just pulled this nugget out of the water.
Just put it on the hat.
Want some
survivors.
Thought you were a goner.
There you go. Listen to this buzzing. I'm wondering if it's mosquitoes harassing a big mammal,
It just got louder.
Huh?
It just like picked up.
Yeah. Or if it's like a big beehive. So many eagles. There's another one. We've seen at least 10 today.
Yeah, that was just 4 on
4.
this point.
From this spot right here.
They must have a nest.
Oh, there
we go.
There's 2 of them again.
Those are both juveniles. They're
Crazy.
young. So they must have a nest in here. That was wild. They just kept coming.
Kept coming.
Here's another one.
Oh, no way! Where's the nest?
I don't know.
That's crazy. So many eagles.
There's another one.
Oh my god.
I heard it.
Yeah. Early afternoon, and it's amazing how long it takes it to get anywhere on this lake. Everything, all the distances are so long. But we're coming up to Fleur Island, where Nipigon Strait splits. Goes this way. Over there is Blind Channel, and we'll be looking for camp pretty soon because there might be a thunderstorm coming on later today.
All right, let's see what we can do. Turning the corner here at the Nipigon Strait as it splits, and getting a bit of a headwind, and definitely starting to feel like Superior. Cooling off and breezy. Making a lot better time than us. So over my shoulder this way is the end of the Nipigon Strait, and this way is Moss Harbor, where we're hoping to find some protection. It hasn't been too bad, but it's starting to get a little choppy, and with a thunderstorm and possibly some rain on the way, we're pretty eager to find a place to lay our heads for the night. Hopefully dry.
It's almost 2:30 and we're just stopping for lunch here in Moss Harbor. It's finally calm. It's so much cooler out here toward the main lake. Yeah, it's nice to be here where it's calm, and hopefully we'll set up camp, find somewhere good before too long.
There's 2 cabins here. It looks like it might be a fishing lodge. A pretty nice place, actually. It'd be a pretty spectacular place to have some property. And a nice swan boat. We might trade up.
Hoping that we're camping here. What a view.
It's incredible.
Incredible.
Very nice.
We're hoping for hammocks tonight, and I don't think that's going to be possible here. The trees are small, bushy, but we'll be happy in the tent. So we got this new tent. It's a winter tent. It's got a stove jack, but we got this bug mesh to use it in summer as well. But like, there's this huge hole here. It cinches, but it doesn't seal. So we had all these mosquitoes coming in last night, despite draping some fabric over that. So we didn't get a lot of sleep last night. We're gonna try it again and yeah, try and improve upon our blockage system. And we wanted to sleep in the hammocks, just nowhere to do that. Stones are surprisingly comfortable.
I know. Are they comfortable or are we tired?
Both. Woke up from our nap feeling dead to the world, but we got some teas going to warm up. It's quite cool out, getting darker. No rain yet, but there's a chance all throughout the night. And yeah, hopefully it turns into a thunderstorm. That'd be a lot of fun. Cheers.
Cheers. Day 2 in the books.
Day 2. Getting things packed away quick. It's just started to rain. Perfect. Just got everything done. Got in here just in time. Our first rain in this tent. Hopefully it holds up to rain better than it does to bugs. Starting day 3 with some nasty conditions. It's gray and drizzly and very windy out there. And it looks like on our map we'll probably only make 11 kilometers today before we can, we'll probably have to stop there because of a open water crossing that would be kind of dangerous today. Our guidebook says it's a particularly difficult spot to cross. So we'll probably have to do that tomorrow morning, so we won't get far today. No need to rush. Just gonna leave in the early afternoon. Alright, we're having lunch, chili with naan, and getting ready to leave.
So we should be good as long as we can get around Agate Point, eh?
Yeah, there's a point ahead, and onshore wind would make it really nasty, but offshore should be okay. So we'll put on our dry suits.
Dry suits.
Just to be safe. It's pretty chilly, so it's not like a dry suit's a bad thing on a day like today.
Yeah. Time to be birthed.
Yeah, there's a crayfish.
Yay!
So we're back on the water, just 11 kilometers to cover to our campsite,
And we're pretty sheltered here from the wind, but it still gusts quite a bit at times. So yeah, it'll be a good spot to set up a base camp for an early start tomorrow to cross the mouth of Shishib Bay.
We have this sail that we're gonna give a go. Hopefully it's not too strong of a wind, but I think we've got a good little place to try it out and see how it works. Ready?
Whoa. That fills up fast.
Here we go.
And we're pretty sheltered here still, so we'll see. How does it feel?
Feels good. Like
Yeah.
it's not yanking me.
Okay, good.
Feels nice and tame so far. Woo. Okay.
Yeah, I can feel it now.
Oh yeah.
The wind right at our backs. That's awesome. That is awesome.
You steer all power.
Okay.
Let it out a bit.
Wow. Oh, we're moving. This is pretty sweet. I'm just steering. And right now I have an app that shows us our speed. It says 8 kilometers an hour, but mostly it's been around 7 with me doing nothing, and not an intense wind here, so we could go even faster, but any faster than 8 kilometers in an hour in a canoe is a bit of a wild ride, so this is just perfect right now. Does it fatigue you at all, like your arms?
Nope.
It'd be sketchy if it was wavier though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be the time to do it.
Yeah.
This is pretty perfect. It's getting a little choppier here around this piece of land, so let's put the sail away for now. Getting a bit rough here around this point. What a beautiful cove. There's too many beautiful campsites on Superior, and they always make you want to stop.
It's such a juxtaposition of getting out of that weather of
Yeah,
it
a bit
seems
of
so
a
like
washing
rough,
machine.
and then you just dip into a cove like this, and it's just such serenity. We're coming into Agate Cove, and it's breathtaking. I don't even have words, it's so stunning. It's huge rocks, and then nice beach, clear water.
Crystal water.
Oh.
It's like crystal.
Here's our top picks from the beach today. Lots of them have really cool quartz running through them, different veins. And then this, I'm pretty sure, is some agate inside of this rock here, which is pretty cool.
Actually a decent size. Cool. lot bigger than it looks from afar, eh?
Oh yeah. Pretty incredible to be standing out here. We're just arriving at camp. We only did about 11 kilometers today, but it was a really nice day and got to explore a bit and see some of the beautiful coastline. And we've got a really nice beach set up and hoping to hang up our hammocks tonight.
Camp number 3.
Okay, we're set up back in the hammocks tonight, which we love. The tent was fun. It's fun to be together, but we're very close together in the hammocks and there's just nothing more comfortable.
Wow.
Pretty cool, eh?
Wow.
We're on an old forestry camp from decades ago. Some relics left behind.
I thought that my iron ring was impressive. That's so cool. I think it might be like tracks from a machine.
So I camped on this campsite almost 2 years ago to the day when I paddled from Silver Islet to Rossport. It was about a 200-kilometer trip solo, and I said I really wanted to come back here with Aaron someday, and here we are. This was a buggy site 2 years ago, and it still is. They're not that bad yet, but they're coming on, and I know at dusk and dawn they're going to be brutal. So we're prepared for a quick exit tomorrow morning. We've got lots to do tomorrow. So we've covered about 60 kilometers so far. Good half of that yesterday, coming down from Red Rock through this Nipigon Strait, and then camped at the north end of Spar Island last night, and then just came around the point into this large cove here. Tomorrow we go past Shishi Bay. We're planning to go down here into these islands and then hit Shishi Bay and Otter Cove on our way back.
Aaron just raced over to me with excitement.
So part of this trip that I've been really excited about is looking for agates. And I found a couple, you probably can't tell, but little guys like that are really cool in the light. And then I just found this one. Look at that. It's beautiful.
Perfect end to our day. She's on a serious mission.
Ah, paradise.
So we're packing up. It's about 5:30, getting on the water before sunrise. And surprisingly, there's actually even a little bit of frost down by the canoe this morning.
What a start. Second sunrise. Just need first breakfast. It's cool. I don't know if I've ever had 2 sunrises. You gotta be on the move.
Sunrise number 3! We're approaching Otter Island and coming to the Shishi Bay crossing. And we've been chasing sunrise all morning. It's pretty cool.
Need it. It's cold out.
3 on day 4. We need one more. Let's go.
Wow. I'm so happy. Yeah. I love my cliffs.
Look at these ferns.
Yeah.
How?
Oh my goodness, this trip is too good. That's Shishi Bay in there. We'll be back for it. It's a big bay. Okay, we got across Shishi Bay before anything picked up, and now we gotta find somewhere to have breakfast, which we skipped to get going, and then decide which way we're gonna go. We can either hug the coast, the mainland, or cut out into a bunch of islands. We're gonna do one on the way there and the other on the way back, so whatever the wind dictates, basically. So we've decided to head out to the islands, and then we'll come back along the Black Bay Peninsula on the way back. Quick breakfast stop here. What do we got?
Granola.
Seeds, nuts, apples, cinnamon, powdered milk. Pretty good. Oh, this would be an amazing place to camp in a storm.
Yeah.
And just watch them smash up in here.
Mm-hmm. How far up all that driftwood's pushed, eh?
Yeah, look at the logs thrown back there. That's by storm surges. a line for the first time on this trip. Just hasn't been the right moment yet, but perfect right now. Some more islands in the distance, which we'll hopefully see later. Tons around here.
It's a bit early for us to stop for camp, but this channel is just so beautiful that we couldn't resist. We're gonna get out and stretch our legs and just take a little look around.
Oh, I wish it was time to stop for camp. This is sweet. And look at the roots on this spruce. Washed away in storms, but yeah, just the size of them, amazing to see. And the wind dies.
Looks like a face in the rocks here, kind of sunken in. I think that's what I'm gonna look like when I get old. Can you see it? Old melted face.
Awesome window, eh? You can see the islands there in the distance.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Some great spinach and mushroom risotto, and deciding where to go next and where to camp tonight. Trying to kind of go with the flow in terms of the wind. It's a lot easier than battling on it on Superior, so mulling it over. Back on the water, wasn't quite sure where to go, but we decided to just go with the wind.
Hold up a bit.
Beautiful camp on this little beach.
Feels like paradise.
What a view. 270-degree view. Sunset over there tonight, sunrise back over here if we're lucky. Might be rainy. Amazing. And a view of the open lake. Wind has been all over the place. It's now back to what it was before. We changed our plans, but it doesn't matter. We're happy.
Beautiful sunset last night. 3 sunrises yesterday, just the one this morning, but great view of it here from camp number 4, and we're about to get on our way.
We had 3 sunrises yesterday. Does that make this day 8?
Oh man, glass.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
This is the dream on Superior. Not a ton of days like this, and it's just crazy to imagine this amount of water being so still, especially Earth is hurtling through space, turning, rotating, twisting, tilting, and somehow this water is glass.
This morning we're making our way through our second big island chain. There's Lasher Island and many others, and we're gonna just cruise around them and see where we end up tonight.
We're meandering our way through this paradise, Loon Harbor behind, and about to cross over to the next big island chain, which is anchored by Cartwright Island. So with these conditions, we have an opportunity to island hop over to Shaganash Island, another big island chain that really didn't expect to get to on this trip. And there are about 4 or 5 crossings of 1 kilometer or more. The longest one's a mile, so nothing too crazy should change in that period. We should be safe to do it today.
We're coming up on this perfect island here, and then just off to the left of it, on the horizon, on the far horizon, you can see the head of the sleeping giant, which is pretty cool.
And the paps are coming into view here too. Island number 1.
Number 2. We're at Island 3, Nest Island.
Tiny one. And then a bigger crossing toward the right.
And there's 3 loons on this island. got a pretty healthy fear of open water. I imagine it's similar to what people who are afraid of heights feel. Just that feeling kind of being at the very edge of something deadly. So I'm looking forward to, we're in the last kilometer of our island hop here. It'll be nice to be on the shores of Saginash. And in these conditions, with hopping across the islands and having our dry suits, we're pretty safe, but it's hard to shake that gut feeling.
What is that? Is it a dock or a ship?
We're right above this structure. It was just super cool. We weren't expecting it, and I looked down on this gray day where you can't really see much, and all of a sudden,
Yeah, what are
something
the odds?
was there.
What are the odds you would spot that?
It's so cool.
I guess dock.
Yeah,
Big one.
big one. Yeah, there's some big timbers in there.
There's another look at Sleeping Giant in the distance. So we just got to this lighthouse, and little did we know, we came across here today. This is actually part of the water trail, that island hop that we did today. So we came across, down this outside, around some islands, and then crossed, and then did the island hop into Saginash. That's where we're at. It's so wild around here. There's no development. We haven't seen anyone. Wow.
It's warm in here.
Oh, nice.
Is that sealed?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's not very high up to look anyway. Alright, time to get out of here. We've got a great campsite lined up for tonight. It's starting to rain and it's cold, so yeah, ready for camp. We island hopped over here and we've got the biggest crossing of the day left, but it's got a nice tailwind, 2 kilometers across. Rain's all around us, but holding off. Here at last. That was a full day. Alright, we made camp here on Stanton Island, and I'm thrilled to be here with Aaron because this is probably the most magical campsite I've ever stayed at. It's beautiful all the time. There's an incredible view of the Paps, but the last time I was here, I had a fantastic sunrise, sunset, and thunderstorm. But most of all, there was a bear with a duck swimming behind it. Looked like they were best friends. And then the biggest thing, once in a lifetime, I saw a quadruple rainbow. Yeah, so I'll never forget this campsite, and I'm thrilled to be back here. We Just had a nice little siesta. These 5 a.m. wake ups on Superior catch up with you. Tomorrow we might be able to sleep in. We might have a nasty headwind when we wake up, but we'll have to see. Getting dinner on, waiting for sunset. Should be beautiful from here. Del Palak rehydrated tonight. Erin's nerding out on rocks. She's been continuing her rock hunt. She's got a little field guide there for Lake Superior.
Okay, I guess I'll eat. Ow.
Good.
Need more energy for rock
Love this
hunting.
one.
Ow.
You hear that? It's an interesting barking, screeching sound. There it is.
Slow start here on day 6. Woke up for sunrise and the wind was blowing hard already, this north wind, so we decided not to fight it and we're going to take a rest day here. There's a ton to enjoy. It's a perfect site. We could claw our way through this, but it's just not worth it. We've covered 130 kilometers so far through the first 5 days, so we can afford the rest day. And yeah, we just love this campsite, so why move on? And our next big destination is Shishi Bay, and based on the wind forecast, it just doesn't make sense to leave today as well, so I'll show you on the map. Again, we came down through here and then worked our way through these islands, and then yesterday we skipped across. You can't even see them on this map, they're tiny islands here, over to Shaganash, came up to Stanton Island. Then we want to continue up through here, through these islands close to the mainland. This is the Black Bay Peninsula. And the reason we've taken a rest day today is because we really only have 1 day of travel to get to the mouth of Shishi Bay. And there are wicked north winds today and tomorrow. So it'd be difficult to cross, more difficult to cross than to go in, and also nasty to go in. So we're waiting it out. We just need to get there by tomorrow and then into Shishi Bay after that. So this is our guidebook by Daryl Macon and Zach Cruisins, Paddler's Guide to the Lake Superior National Marine Conservation Area. This is, as I understand it, the largest piece of protected freshwater on Earth. And it's so great that it is protected because it's absolutely sacred. And what the authors say about Shishi Bay is, travel into Shishi Bay means backtracking to come out. However, Shishi Bay is one of the most remote and interesting areas within the LSNCA. So, that sounds good. This is all so wild and relatively remote. I mean, a motorboat could come in here, but we haven't seen anyone since Camp 2 near the mouth of the Nipigon Strait, so. Passing Erin a tea. How you doing today?
Great. It's a beautiful rest day. Just moseying around. Gonna settle in and read my book a bit and have some tea.
Perfect.
It's beautiful.
Well, we've got some time today. There's an experiment we've been wanting to try for a long time, which is how long can we stay in the water with dry suits before we get uncomfortably cold. Superior is deadly cold, that's why we wear them. But yeah, we've been wondering where that threshold is. So we're gonna try.
Let's go cool off.
that was a really interesting experience. We stayed in for 26 minutes, and there was a real initial shock of the cold, but then it was all right. After that, temperature kind of leveled out. However, we weren't trying to swim. Swimming was the hardest part.
Yeah, swimming is A, just hard. We're not strong swimmers.
Yeah.
B, having our hands submerged was, as anticipated, just
Painful.
painful.
Yeah, to actually keep your hands swimming in the water. We kept ours here just because it's painfully cold.
Yeah.
Also, your suit vacuum seals around you. The air burps out from the neck gasket, and you're not as flexible as you would like, and it vacuum seals your crotch too, which is not comfortable. So yeah, swimming a long distance would not be great. And my forearms are still kind of wooden feeling. Just that's part of the biggest risk is cold water incapacitation. Your limbs just stop working because they're too cold, and your core is trying to preserve itself. So yeah, really interesting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to get into that scenario. That's for sure.
Good test.
Yeah, glad we did it. So mine's a front zip. Erin's is a back zip. It's harder to get out of on your own. So I've been unzipping hers. This tan line.
Thank you.
I gotta keep up with my physio while I'm out here for the knee surgery. Good chance to stretch too. Stretch our paddling muscles. We're quite sheltered here on this side of the island and by that island from any waves. But you can see it's pretty windy. Erin's gonna rest in the hammock a little there. Beautiful day. And look at that water. So clean and clear. Got our gravity filter as always. And even the unfiltered water is just marvelous. So we're winding down day 6. It's been a nice, simple day, and it's been wonderful to have Erin with me on this trip, and she'll actually be with me a fair bit more this summer because
I left my job. John and I decided to take the summer off before we move and settle down more permanently to enjoy a bit of free time. So I'll be along for the ride a little bit more this summer.
yeah. Now she's a professional beachcomber. What'd you get today?
Bone, some large mammal bone, a little piece of a jaw. There's some teeth there. This creepy skull. So that was those, and then lots of different rocks. These ones I thought were really cool because they look like they have holes drilled through them, almost like man-made, but actually it's the effect from some sort of crystal deposits that run through them, which I thought was quite interesting. And then the real special one today is this really crystal-y one here.
Good day's work for a beachcomber. And then around the corner, I saw this little clearing up on a bank. Went up there, and it looks like the door of an old stove. It looks very old. It says HMC Co, I guess. Yeah, I wish it had a date on it, but quite interesting.
Seems like an old piece of iron.
Yeah, could be 100 years old.
It's really cool.
Yeah. It's calmed down beautifully in the last hour, and this would be perfect paddling, but it's not really worth it at this point in the day. The sun will be going down before long, so that's it for today, and hopefully we'll get an early start tomorrow.
We've been seeing this snowshoe hare and couldn't get a shot of it. And we were just resting and he's nibbling right behind Erin. So cute.
Yeah. We'll call him Stanton. Yeah. We're leaving tomorrow about 4 a.m. You want to come? Day 7. Woke up at 3:45 and we were ready to be on the water by 4:30, but the wind was howling then and it's still quite bad. We're gonna wait a little bit and hopefully get an opportunity soon. The forest fire haze is also stronger today. You can really smell it in the air, and it's supposed to be a blue, sunny day, but pretty obscured. So what are we thinking?
I think it's going to be a hard pass on trying to travel today, unless the wind lets up this afternoon, but we're not getting anywhere in this wind.
Yeah, it's rapidly getting worse. Whitecaps are building, and we're sheltered from the waves by this island, so we're really not getting the full effect of it. So we're gonna explore that site where I found that piece of the stove.
Yeah, and there's lots of really well-established game trails, so I might wander on some of those for fun.
Run into the rabbits again, the hares.
Yeah.
Really huge spruce trunk here. Another one back there, and this clearing, which is what caught my eye. This is where I found the stove piece. There's another bottle or something elsewhere, but see if we find any other relics. There's some really well-worn game trails here, and that could be mostly the hares, but we've also seen moose tracks, poop, and probably bear poop, so who knows what's on this island. Almost noon now, and we're getting some Mexican quinoa heated up, rehydrated, and then we're hoping to make a break for it. Getting pretty antsy here. Really wish we could move on. It seems like the wind may have let up a little bit, so I think we can bite through it. We could have battled through it this morning even, but it would be grueling to make so little progress. It's just not worth it, so we might have our chance. Walking down the beach to the windy point to check things out for the 100th time. What are you thinking?
I don't think we're getting out of here today.
Yeah, our lunch, the little bit of calm we saw at lunch, it went away quickly, and we just had dinner. Still no good. So 3 nights. Different experience on Stanton Island this time, but at least it couldn't be a better spot to be stuck.
It's been a pretty quiet day, spending most of the day just going back and forth to the point, trying to figure out if we can get out of here. And I've spent a lot of the day just wondering if we should just power through it and get ourselves, make some progress. And then kind of serendipitously, I came across this passage in my book by Farley Mowat that made me decide that we made the right choice by staying put. It says, "The trip was an easy one, for the Eskimos had always known the secret that Jamie had learned so belatedly out on the frozen plains when he and Awasin were stricken with snow blindness. The Eskimos knew that they must always travel with the forces of the land and never fight against them." Seems to be telling it pretty plainly to us, so thanks, Farley.
Evening of day 7, and that cold north wind is still blowing. We got an alarm set for 4 a.m. Hopefully we'll get our opportunity.
Hey, hon. It's almost 4.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's still breezy as forecasted, but a little better.
Much to our chagrin, we walked down to the exposed point, and it is still very windy and dark, so we really have no advantage of leaving right now. And according to our SATCOM forecast, it should get a little better around 10 a.m. and then later in the afternoon. So it's light till 10 p.m. Yeah, there's just no incentive to leave right now. So I'm gonna go back to sleep. 10 a.m. now, and the wind's finally abating a little bit. Something we could fight against anyway. It's our third day here, almost 3 full days we've been marooned here.
We ain't had nothing but this Rabbity Island for 3 stinking days!
And it's day 8 of the trip, so a big chunk of it. And it's sort of uniquely frustrating to be stuck on Superior on the North Shore by an offshore wind. An onshore wind is usually the problem, blowing up the waves against 100 kilometers of fetch. Hopefully we'll get back to the mainland soon and be nice and sheltered out of it, get this trip back on track.
Well, after about 3 days, we're finally going to brave it. There's still a bit of a headwind, reasonably strong, but not nearly as aggressive as the last couple days, and we just need to get out of here and get moving. So it's definitely safe. It's just not pleasant paddling, but we're okay. We're going to muscle through it, and just looking forward to making some progress and seeing some new things.
At last!
At last!
Making one last crossing to Bourbonnais Island. We couldn't have left any earlier, that's for sure. We needed this wind to die down a little to make this possible. And we're on the mainland, almost. Yeah, that was a bit of a laborious mile, but it feels so good to be close to the mainland. Like, it doesn't look rough ahead. Amazing feeling after being stuck there for so long.
There's at least 5 eagles in front of us. I've seen all 5 at the same time. There might be more. It's incredible.
Eagle Bay should be called.
Yeah.
Look at them.
They're everywhere. There's something swimming out here.
I thought it was a duck, but it's gotta be a moose. Let's zoom in.
Yeah, I've been watching it for a while and it just seemed big and odd shaped for what it was, so I'm curious to see what it is.
Yeah, oh, it definitely is. Unless it's a caribou. Yeah, it looks like a moose. Nice. Good eye. It's actually pretty close now, 100 meters or so. Yeah. Hard to gauge its size. Well, this trip's feeling like it's back on track. First real big wildlife sighting since day 1?
Yeah.
Maybe 2? Oh, we saw the otters on day 2, but yeah, after that explosion of wildlife, finally something else. Blue sky, where'd that come from?
I don't know! We're back on track, and the blue sky just kind of surprised us. We didn't even see it coming in, and all of a sudden it was sunny. So it feels nice. Nice to be on the move, nice to be in the sun. Nice all around. Cutie.
And the otter popped his head up right there. Got a good gander at us.
Yeah.
Love the little sniffing they do. There he is.
Hi, cutie. Cedar. It doesn't have a trunk. It's just a floating cedar above the lake.
It's a pretty magical looking forest here. Very old. But this is another level of magic.
That's so cool.
Oh my goodness. I think we just saw a fisher. He's running along the shore. Barely got any footage of him there, I think. I hope I got something, but I never see fishers. Good eye. Eagle eye Aaron again. This tamarack here.
Beautiful, eh? Look how thick the moss.
Yeah.
Like
Incredible it holds on.
incredible amount of soil and moss, I guess, over the years.
Oh yeah.
Here we go.
That's awesome.
There's a section here that obviously had a forest fire. Seems pretty recent, not much is grown in. It's not too big of a section, but pretty cool to see up close, and makes me happy not to have to portage through quite the tangle.
What a wonderful day of paddling it's been. Even got a few kilometers of sailing in there, and the wind's not too bad here along the mainland, but we're almost at the mouth of Shishi Bay, and that could still be a bit of a washing machine. We'll see. It would really help our itinerary if we're able to put a dent in that today.
Tigers, zebras.
Wow, they never let us get this close. There he goes, 2 of them. Oh my goodness.
Didn't go far.
Wow, so big. Look at this. Made it halfway down Shishi Bay to this beautiful beach campsite, and our guidebook described there being a lot of wildlife tracks on the beach down in this bay. And look at that beautiful wolf track, very distinct with the moose tracks. Very cool, all over. And a beautiful spot to camp up there.
Oh, so we still have to set up camp and make dinner, and it's pretty late, but it's hard to pull ourselves away from just the awe of the site. Just take a couple minutes to explore and soak it in. It's pretty incredible.
Gotta leave early tomorrow. That seems hard to do right now. Well, this is heaven right now. Fantastic day. Trip's back on track in terms of momentum and also schedule. Put in a solid day tomorrow and we're good. Oh, look at that. Pretty buggy out there. There's the cocktail, mosquitoes, black flies, and no-see-ums. No-see-ums are tiny little guys. And hopefully this bug mesh is going to hold up because it hasn't proven itself to be fantastic yet. It's already kind of fraying here, which potentially creates gaps for no-see-ums to get in. But otherwise, comfortable. It's nice to have it open like this.
Yeah, I feel pretty good right now.
Oh my goodness. Oh, there we go. My heart racing. I was just getting
Where'd
ready.
they come from?
Just over there. And then they went right back in. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. A cow moose with a calf can be actually quite dangerous. So Aaron just quickly passed me this camera and the bear spray. Wildlife on this trip has been officially ridiculous.
Yeah.
What was today? We saw the otter gave us a good sniff.
Yeah.
A fisher. This is probably the second fisher I've ever seen.
Moose swimming.
Moose, cow, and calf at camp.
Yeah.
And lots of eagles. And probably more that we're forgetting. Wow.
Pretty good day.
Day 9. Chilly, buggy morning, on the water just after sunrise, ready to head around the bay. This one over here?
Oh no.
Something else. Okay, we've brought something, we spotted something underwater and we've brought something to address it. Aaron's gonna give it a shot.
Oh, we're gonna get closer.
Whoa, got it? Oh my god.
It's heavy, whatever it is.
Oh, it's too heavy for it.
Hang on, there's something else over here that might not be as like embedded. Big rusty band.
Hoop for a barrel maybe? What'd you catch it with? What's your lure?
My magnet.
Is that the Rapala?
Yeah. No.
It's
Cleo.
a nice 4-pounder.
Little Cleo.
What is it?
Ladder.
Thought so.
It's a nice long beach at the end of the bay here, and there's just countless tracks on the beach. It's pretty cool.
No, it's more wolf.
These ones are smaller, right?
Yeah.
No claw marks.
Look at that. That's a good sized pupper. Just pulled this guy out.
Oh my god, is that an eagle? It is. There's an eagle looking down at us.
Oh my goodness.
It's so cool.
All right, we're through Shishi Bay. It was a really interesting experience, especially with those tracks and the cow and calf moose coming out at our campsite last night. But we're back to the open lake just about. Sailboat just passed by us, first one we've seen on this trip, and we're hoping to camp somewhere on the open lake tonight. We haven't had any 180-degree views of the lake yet. It would be really nice. Wanna go under? collapse.
Ah.
Every corner you turn, something amazing. Pretty sweet cave, full of spider webs. We'll leave them be. This little rock slide, if you want to call it that, fell right off of there. And another overhang. And Aaron's busy checking for agates.
Ah.
Oh, look at this spot. We're planning on going a little further, but this camp just called out to us, flattened out a tent pad there, and just a unique spot. Lighthouse way over there, old lighthouse. Love it. End of day 9, just had a good siesta. All these early mornings on Superior, I love them. Love paddling at sunrise on this lake, but it catches up with you. So we needed to conk out there for a bit. We just had dinner, and we're gonna just relax in the tent for the rest of the evening. Enjoy this beautiful view, exactly what we hoped for tonight. Wide view, and tomorrow we continue on down that way.
Oh, that was a long night. The mosquitoes were getting in somehow. I tried sealing up that bizarre hole in the design at the top as best as possible, but somehow mosquitoes kept getting in, waking us up. Killing them now to just get our revenge.
They won't get away with their blood.
Never.
Take it back.
They can take our sleep, but they can't take our blood.
I'd rather they take my blood, to be honest. A bit sleep deprived this morning, but happy to have coffee, and we've got a pretty scenic day ahead of us, so hopefully I can shake these sleepies
Yeah,
as we get moving.
and the reason that we don't just sleep in the hammocks is because we bring both on Superior trips because it can be surprisingly hard to find hammocking spots on the coast where the trees and the woods can be pretty scrubby and not able to support a hammock. So tonight we are gunning for a hammock spot, and when we get home we're gonna figure something out that's better to, because we like it's enjoyable to be in this tent otherwise, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a nice tent. It's nice to share space too. Be in the same space, especially for
Since hammocks are always apart, so
yeah. There's some benefits.
Let's have a look at the map.
That's good coffee.
So we came from Staten Island all the way around Shishi Bay, and then yesterday came up here around Agate Point there, which can get pretty rough, but wasn't too bad yesterday. And we camped just on the other side of it. Today we continue, we cross over to Fleur Island, very scenic, and then come up the other side of the Nipigon Strait, probably camp hopefully around there, and then make the last stretch tomorrow. Oh, this is pretty cool in here actually.
Yeah. Dip in.
Aaron was just saying how every time you go past Superior's shoreline, it always seems new. Like we barely notice this. Depending on conditions, you may or may not be able to check things out. Always a treat.
And it's interesting how there's some driftwood wedged in there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
At the back of this little cave, there's some driftwood slammed up into a crevice. I can only imagine the waves coming up right into this crack. That's so cool.
That's so cool.
That would be a sight to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So we're just about to cross over to the west shore of Fleur Island and then go up the Nipigon Strait from that shore.
Making our way up the strait, mix of haze and clouds around, forest fire haze, but nice tailwind is building. Couldn't be more appreciated for this long strait, and hopefully the same tomorrow in Nipigon Bay. And a big thanks to Sean for the sail. It's been a great use on this trip, and I'm sure it's going to get a lot more action in the future.
We are enjoying a nice leisurely sail across the west side of Fleur Island, and then as we came out to the tip of it, it got pretty turned up with the wind. We've heard Nipigon Strait can get pretty nasty, and we're kind of experiencing that a bit, but it's still a tailwind and we're managing, so still making good progress at least. We just got to camp, which is our last camp of the trip, and same as our first camp of the trip. We've been here less than 5 minutes, and the mosquitoes have found us, so thanks for the welcome, guys.
They were instantly all over us.
With it, like...
Usually you get a little breathing period, so as soon as we walk through all these grasses.
Oh,
all right.
so many.
Let's get our shelters up.
Get after it.
All right, final night here. We're 15 kilometers from our access point. Saved a little scotch. Amazing trip. We'll debrief more tomorrow in more peaceful conditions.
No time.
But a toast. Cheers.
Whew.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, let's get in there.
Yeah, hang on. I need you to
Oh yeah.
set me free.
She's in her full dry suit.
Can you get...
Okay, I held one there. Are you taking it off in the hammock?
Yeah. Oh, in the hammock now, and just so incredibly relieved. I was looking forward to it before we even showed up with the bugs, just because it's been a long day, but now that the bugs are here, wow. I just threw everything in here. I still have my dry suit, took off the top with the gaskets, but I'm just taking a breather, and yeah, it feels good to have some protection from these bugs and have my feet up. Okay, so I got some bad news. I gotta pee. I just got settled, but I gotta brave it. So I'm gearing up for battle. Wish me luck. I want one.
We need a pet spider like this everywhere we go. Get him, man. Come
I
on.
know, we were just talking about this.
So they can't bite my knee, but they really want to. Well, it's not exactly how we hope to spend our last night. A quiet evening under the stars with a bonfire would be nice, but there's a fire ban and the mosquitoes are thick, so... Anyway, it's expected. It's June in northern Ontario and we don't have black flies, at least right here along the coast. Often that would be the case inland. Just as bad black flies added to the equation, so we'll take it. Another good day, 38 kilometers added to our total, up to 218 I think.
Aaron just heard sticks breaking. Hopefully nothing comes through here. There is a game trail right in front of here.
Sounded like it could have been a bear climbing one of these trees.
Day 11. A swarm of mosquitoes outside. Some animals were crashing around behind us at 4 a.m. so we've been up since then. It's now 5. First light's creeping into the sky. We're gonna get going.
You know, the mosquitoes are bad overall when they're thick between us, not just like on us. Morning. Alrighty.
Let's get out of here.
Later, losers.
on the water at 5:45 for day 11. Got 15, 16, 17 kilometers, something like that, back to the marina at Red Rock. And then we're all done. Amazing sunrise to be up for. Sun is rising in between two cloud banks, it looks like. It looks more like a lunar eclipse.
Yeah, it does. We're coming to the final kilometers of our trip. It's been really incredible. It's for sure the best wildlife overall I've had on any trip, and just some of the most quality encounters. If I had to pick a favorite, I think the cow and calf the first night that came across our campsite and then ran out into the water was pretty spectacular. And then otherwise just nice weather, incredible North Shore scenery, and just great trip overall. I think it's been one of John and I's best, so really looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, it was an exceptional trip, and in our guidebook at the start there's a quote by George Grant from an expedition in 1870. I think it sums up this lake really well. Those who have never seen Superior get an inadequate, even inaccurate idea by hearing it spoken of as a lake, and to those who have sailed over its vast extent, the word sounds positively ludicrous. Though its waters are fresh and crystal, Superior is a sea. It breeds storms and rains and fogs like the sea. It is cold in midsummer as the Atlantic. It is wild, masterful, and dread as the Black Sea.
One last cow and calf to send us off. Mama's back in the woods, we heard her.